Allison, where do I go to see you? Now scattered ashes, hill to shore. No place to stop, rest a bit. You never could be stilled. Appropriate, really, ever moving. Water draws me, vast and encompassing. The waves somehow rock me, though my body still in silent. Powerful the tides shift as often as emotions. Tortured once and comfort found the next. Not complete in your absence, a peace forfeited by tragedy. Gone too soon, searching ever to be whole. Only near water will the most of me be found. Allison was my younger sister, and we almost had more of a mother-daughter kind of relationship. Allison's personality, she was crazy, like kind of crazy. She was badass. She just had a lot of life.
I was an adventurous type of person and just wanted to experience new things, you know. I first started skydiving and base jumping in 2006. I've always been a rock climber, and a few of my friends were already skydiving, and they told me about it. Started jumping, jumped for about 6 months, and then started base jumping.
Base jumping, a lot of people don't know what that is. It's an acronym, and it stands, each letter stands for a certain thing that people will jump off of. The B is for building, A is for aerial, sometimes they'll jump off like an aerial tower. S is for structure, and E is for earth, which is a cliff or a mountaintop or something like that. I was a little surprised when she decided to start base jumping, because I know she had some fear of it.
I watched people jumping over my head while I was up on the wall, and it's like I need to feel what these guys are feeling. I didn't know why. I just wanted to be there. I made a bunch of friends at different drop zones after a few skydives. I really wanted to be jumping in the mountains. That's where I wanted to be.
So when Allison first started base jumping, she told me the story of the first time she actually jumped off an aerial tower. In California, she was dating a Venezuelan base jumper. They climbed this tower together, and basically she told me that he threw her off the tower, that she was so afraid to jump. But she said that she probably would have never jumped off because that fear was so great.
It was pretty hard, but just the first jump, and then from second jump on, it went pretty smooth. Just was all about me being confident.
I think that's when it really started to kick in. She started skydiving, and I think she loved that life. She loved those people.
The jumping part was a big part of it, but the traveling, most people don't get to be anywhere near where we go as base jumpers, you know, right on the edge of cliffs. We were living what we wanted to live. We were where we wanted to be.
In the end, before she died, I think she was really happy, and I don't remember her being ever that grounded. And it wasn't a normal, traditional life, but she seemed genuinely happy. So the one thing I can say is, you know, that restlessness that we saw in her earlier in her life, she kind of found herself. And she seemed like okay, that she was becoming her own person, and it didn't matter so much what other people thought, because she was doing what she wanted to do.
You see a lot of people dying in the sport, you know, and I lost a bunch of friends, and including Allison. It's just from day one, I knew where I was going. Sometimes shit happens, you know.
It was almost better that we talked about it. I kind of always felt like if we talked about the things that could go wrong, then that wouldn't happen. it wouldn't happen to her. There's always some fear because if you read the statistics, you just see all these numbers and numbers and numbers of people that have died doing that sport. And I think in retrospect, had she known the toll that it took on us, I don't think she would have ever done that to us. Which I just think if all of my friends were dying doing something, even if it was something I loved, I think I would stop doing it.
Never really thought about stopping till I got hurt.
And my brother-in-law, Nick, had a base jumping accident, gosh, a little over a year ago.
And I almost lost my life. I had a type of malfunction.
And he broke his back, and they airlifted him.
It hit me pretty hard when that happened to me. But I made it out alive, you know. I wish a lot of my friends had the same luck.
You don't usually live after a base jumping accident. It's not something you come out the other side of. And all the base jumpers in the community now call him the formerly dead guy because it's so unheard of.
That had a pretty big impact on my decision to stop base jumping. For me, it's like a drug. It's a very addicting activity. I try to stay away, and it's hard to replace that. I can't really put another injury on the top of the one that I already had. So I miss it, but I'm okay.
I'm so relieved because I don't think we could have lived through losing him too.
We talked about, you know, the possibility of getting badly injured or dying. You know, we were pretty honest with each other that if it happened to either of us, we would know what to do.
If she died, she wanted to be cremated, and she wanted her ashes to be given out to her friends and family, and that she could kind of live on vicariously through the places and their adventures.
We wanted our ashes to be in the mountains, so that's pretty much what I did. So that I gave to a bunch of friends, and I let them take her around the world. What she told me she wanted. I felt like she needed to be where she told me she wanted to be. She's out there somewhere.
So I don't think I could have changed her mind, because I think that she felt like she was finally living and finally where she was supposed to be. But when she passed, you go through all these emotions and all these stages of grief, and like I went through a stage where I was just really pissed. Like I thought it was like the most selfish thing someone could do. Like in your grief, you just feel like if she knew that we were going to go through all of this and carry this with us for the rest of our lives, like, would she really have done that to us? I found out Allison died. I didn't even need to know. The words weren't even said, I don't think. I remember opening the door and looking at my dad. And my dad didn't say anything. And I just said, Allison? And he looked down. And I remember running through the house. Like, I wanted to get as far away from him as I could, because I felt like I could outrun it. If I could get far enough away from him, it wouldn't be true. Like, she wouldn't really be gone. But unfortunately, I couldn't outrun it. And if anybody told me that 7 years later we would still be alive, I don't think at the time of her death any of us thought we were going to make it through. When you start talking about it, it's just always on the surface. Like, that pain is always on the surface. And you realize that the person that you love really is gone. It's just so weird. It's more your kids not knowing that person. It's more the memories fading, and just the grief is always there.
It's always hard when things happen this way. Dealing with death, dealing with loss. We're all here to learn, and hopefully she is on her own path by now. whatever she is, till the day we meet again. They're all out there looking out for us. But the beauty of it too, you know, when things go good, it's just the best thing we do.
So you don't need to push.